live. We've got 1 like already and 1 person watching, so that is fantastic. Thanks to everybody who is watching tonight. I'm sure you'll be seeing on screen now. You'll be seeing what has happened with Minas Tirith. I managed, for anybody who didn't see my Facebook post yesterday, I managed to get this primed last night. Evening, Johan. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Lots of progress anyway. Yes, yeah. Thank you, Steve. Evening. Yeah, you're right, Johan. So basically, I managed to get all of the buildings, everything basically done. I've got, I've even put a backboard piece on the back, a bit of card to cover up the horrific foam that was there. So really pleased with that. Now, the only problem is, as I was just recording before coming on the live stream, clearly from the results, there are areas which I clearly didn't get good enough Mod Podge coverage because the foam has got eaten away, which is really disappointing. However, when you're looking at it like this, you can't see it. So I'm hoping that that will keep everything going well. So what we're going to do today is some dry brushing. I am unsure whether to go for light grey or white. Now, I vaguely remember Minas Tirith being almost known as the White City, maybe. Yeah, battle damage is exactly what I'm thinking, Steve. I will need to go over it with some grey paint just to make sure that it is looking grey. But I am leaning towards doing a white. Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Johan. But what I want to do is probably do a white dry brush and just get everything popping. So I think let's start off with a dark grey. Let's get the big brush out and let's just layer up where we can. The plan tonight is really just painting. So off-white, yeah. You know what? I did think about that, Steve, and I can't actually find my off-white, so I will have a search in just a moment, just to make sure that I'm not missing it somewhere. But yeah, I agree. That's probably actually a really good plan. What I probably should have done was just get the paintbrush out in the first place and just paint the whole thing, but time was a concern. And it's not come out too bad, to be honest. It really hasn't. There are obviously some bits that have got damage, which is disappointing, but it is what it is. So maybe deck tan, layer paint. Yeah, I was going to stick to these sort of acrylic paints predominantly because they're cheap, and there's a lot more of it than I get in the Vallejos. So yeah, I will have a think about it. I think it's mostly the foam behind the walls that has just been pretty smashed. It is what it is. I will live with it. My main thoughts is that actually most people are going to be looking at the armies in front of these in front of the wall, so I'm not expecting them to have a great, look at it. It's a nice table piece, from a distance. So I'm just going to move the camera ever so slightly because you're getting a lot of me there, and I don't think you need a lot of me. Let's be honest. I'm not the pretty bit. I leave that for Minas Tirith. Right, let's get a little bit more paint. I just want to get these layers, these levels just a little bit more tidied up. So how has everybody's week been this week? What have you been up to? Are you painting, hobbying, sitting and chilling out this evening? What are you up to? If you mix filler with a bit of water and then Mod Podge, you get a pretty solid coating as well. Yeah, really good tip. Really good tip. And I think I got caught out slightly, but trying to rush things. You know how it is. You think, oh, I've got a deadline. And I think because I set myself that target last week of getting finished this week, there has been a little bit of pressure, and I have just gone, do the quickest thing to get this done. Because I am kind of a little bit ready to be done with it as well. I want to move on to the next project, which is predominantly around painting figures. So yeah, okay, I'm kind of happy with that. It's added a bit of texture, I guess, to some pieces. Painting too many spiders for Veritwood. Ordered 3mm testers from various places for Cold War. Waiting on a metric ton of 28mm scale containers so I can replace a lot of my old plastic stuff. Nice. And printing some for the kids. Nice. I did see the dragons you did for them. That was really, really sweet. That was really nice, yeah. Right, I'm not going to dry brush with this one, so I don't need to worry about that too much. Right, let's have a quick look for some off-white, and if I can't find it, we will just crack on with the white. Because, why not? Hand in the way there. Right. So I have a antique parchment, which feels a little bit yellow. They did. I was really impressed, and I was actually wondering, how old are they? Because I didn't think they were. Are they teenagers yet? Yeah, I would be hiring them if they can paint as well on those dragons as and I think I'd absolutely be getting them to paint my terrain. Just turned 12. Drawing for years now. Practice does tend to make better. Right, let's get dry brushing. I'm hoping this isn't going to take too long. I have some plans for the rock work, and the rock work is going to involve washes. What I want to do with the washes is sort of do I think they call it a tiger pattern, but we'll see. Right. Right. I think we're yeah. I was quite pleased with how the gatehouse came out. And I literally just Googled an image and had a look at it, and I thought, yeah, okay, that kind of works. Yeah, add a drop of washing up liquid to your wash. Really draws it into the cracks and flows much easier. Much nicer. I did not know that. Washing up liquid. I shall go and nick some from the kitchen. Well, I suppose it's not really nicking it if I pay for it, but yeah, there we go. Probably end up, I think, doing the ground cover last. Obviously do the rock work. I think the other thing with this grey is that the grey and the white and all that is not going to particularly stand out until I do the groundwork, because I think the groundwork will just give it something to pop against. At the moment everything's grey, so it's just a little bit of a pain. Or you just improve it. If you have it, and it needs to be a tiny drop. I'll do the rock. I'd do the rock first, Minas Tirith second. Rocks you do with some hefty dry brushing. Okay. Let's reconvene then. I'm going to take that advice. I'm going to quickly finish up this bit that I'm doing here. Yeah, right. I think that's that. That's that. Cool. Right. Okay. Rocks you do with some hefty dry brushing. You want the details and Minas highlight on. Rocks can be ham-fisted. Okay. Sounds interesting. Right, let's get a good brush here. A little bit of water on that. That will help, I suspect. And we're going to go for some, I think, Riken flesh, some green, and I think I used black before. So here we go. Stand by. I think we're going to do this bit right here to start with, because that will just, in fact, I believe I've seen this trick before. If you wet it, it'll follow down the water. Don't know. We will see. No, it's not. We're just doing a little bit of experimenting here, a little bit of see how it works, how it looks. Okay. Start at the back, less visible, and you can pruett the rock with a brush, so you need less wash. Okay. I'm not sure how clear this is coming out on camera, but I might bring it a bit closer shortly. I'm going to do the black next. Let's do the black. I think this is going to be quite strong, so I don't want to. Yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, this looks to be sort of working. I'll use GW stuff, just a brown and a black would suffice. I tend to add in a green as well. Yeah, so that's what I've got essentially. I mean, Riken flesh is probably not brown, it's more like a reddy brown. I quite like it. And then, yeah, I've just put the black on now. And then I'm going to throw in some green. That was my thinking. Yeah, that's true, Steve. Although I'm not spraying it again because it turns out that that's not good for it. Who would have thunk it? Let's just go for some dots of green, not too much green, I think. He says putting tons on, so there we go. Right. No pools. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, okay. So we're getting there, I think. Go for a little bit more in this. Okay, that's not terrible. I'm an ultra wide, so I'm guessing my view is bigger than the real thing. No, it's massive. It is massive. Let's just hold that up to the camera, see if it comes up any better. I think the problem is the lighting, but It's almost like too much lighting is. Yeah, let's see if that. Don't know how good a image that is. It's definitely got color on screen. Just browns and greys would suffice. Cool. Brilliant. Thanks for the feedback. I much appreciated. So I think what I'll do is do this on the rest of it. I don't know if is that it done? Do I need a light dry brush over top? I don't know. Let's do a bit of. Oi. Glad the lid was on top of that. Managed to properly give myself a scare there. It's just, yeah. A bit of brown in there. Tone down this green a little bit. And then let's just get some dabs in here. Of course, those aren't running because it's a bit flatter. Oh, and I also haven't actually put any water on this, so might need to do a bit of that. All right, it's actually not looking too bad, I think. Light dry brush. Have you got a nice big makeup brush for dry brushing? I do have makeup brushes, but not for dry brushing, not for makeup either. I should add quite quickly to that. I've basically got this one, which is they're two flat brushes basically. Don't know if you can see those, but yeah, there we go. Yeah, cool. Right, that's a bit of brown. Let's chin that one off for a second. Let's go back in with some Ricon Flesh. Let's add some red tones in there. And I'm just gonna we got a leak. Never mind. Never mind. Table will wash. Cool. Right, let's get some black on there next, I think. I'm hoping it's going to be a relatively quick process, but we'll see. I think I want a bit of grey showing through, but just to get some colour into that as well. I think that's looking good. And then we'll get some green in. I use the largest makeup brush I can get away with for scenery. Oh, okay. That is interesting. I found when I've used makeup brushes before that it just tends to, the bristles come out and then they get stuck in what I'm doing, and that just frustrates me. So well, maybe you're obviously getting better quality ones than I am. Cool. All right, I think we've tied that in with that one quite nicely. So I take it you'd put on all the washes first, all over the rock work, and then come back and do the dry brush once it's all dry. No, G-brush from savers. Go like okay. Okay, that's good to know. The ones I got were definitely like a savers variety pack. Right, I'll try to get this side finished. And then we can move on to the other side. Yeah, nice. Do some black. Apologies, I've got a lot of chatting going on today. It's I think just trying to concentrate and get this right, having screwed up a little bit Tuesday night. But yeah, Steve, how are the Napoleonics? I noticed you said you were waiting for some, so nice. And Johan, the shed that you painted just the other day, yesterday, definitely managed to unbase a retracted, clearly high intelligence. Napoleonics are class finder. Put some green in there, lovely. Don't know if it's the right technique, but it seems to be working. I'm quite liking it. Just getting the sort of jabbing it in. Good, I like it. Right, that all seems to have tied in nicely. So I think what we'll do is we'll go for the front piece here. And then following on from that, we'll go to the other side and see what damage we can cause over there. First test spider painted for Verot wood, but they will work for my undead just as well. 2 big ones and 3 smaller ones. Now ready for basing at the hobby meet tomorrow evening. Brilliant. That sounds good. I definitely had that moment yesterday where I was like, yes, I am ready for the live stream. I have got to where I was hoping to, but yeah, I think it was actually probably more frustrating in the end because I got to the end of the day and I thought, should I have just taken my time a bit more, done it a bit differently? Oh, this is not going how I wanted it to, so let's get the water out. Just let it run a little bit more. Cool. Happy with that. Lovely. Just don't want it to pool at the end, really. It just makes it look. Printer has 15 minutes left on a 5-hour scenery print. My goodness. I suppose at least you can presumably just set it off and let it go. You don't have to keep an eye on it, or is that bad drills and not recommended? Oh, yes. Oh. That's a bit frustrating. As unbase and improve my warlord stuff, so that's 5 units of 48-ish models. Blimey. Most of us up to 4 units. Also got a last few Bavarians to go, 10 units, then on some more cavalry. I mean, Steve, that sounds like you are getting through a heck of a lot, which is very impressive. I'm not sure I could get through that much, but well done. Full credit. Yeah, I think I've just lost some. What do you call it? Some filler in that space. So that's a bit frustrating. Yeah, it's just a little bit frustrating. Things are falling apart. Well, thank you, Mikot. Thanks for joining us as well. Really, really appreciate it. We're up to 6 people watching. So, I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but for this channel, that is a lot. So thank you for everybody's support. And, do feel free to join in the conversation in the chat. We've got Steve, we've got Johan, and we've got Mikot. And we are having a whale of a time. I hope everybody would agree. As we go through doing the rock work for Minas Tirith. It's been suggested I start the rock work and then we can come back and do Minas Tirith and the details of that a little bit later on. So it's not gone perfect, but I think we're making progress, and I think it's going to look all right. Oh, let's train a little bit. Yep, lovely. Yeah, right. Cool. A lot of green on that. I'm not sure I 100% like that. I think almost too much green, but it is what it is. Trying this week to remember to hydrate, because last week I think I got to about 45 minutes and then went, I need a drink. So there we go. Right. See, it's pooling at the bottom now. I don't really like it when it does that. Never mind. We will tackle that when we tackle that. Right, moving on. Let's turn this around and yeah, 2 green, but easily fixed with black, brown, and a proper dry brush. Yeah, agreed. I think I shall try to be a little bit more careful there with the green next time. I think it's because I put that extra water on and it just hit it and ran. I didn't put a lot on, but it hit it and ran. Right. We get this rock work here. Happy with that. And let's just come down here a little bit. Oh, there's a lot in that patch, but that's fine. I'm going to spread that out a little bit. Lovely. Some bits in there. Lovely. Cool. We're getting there. We are getting there. All right, that is the reddish brown one. Let's go for an oil. And of course, in case anybody hadn't seen it in the comments or heard it on the audio, I am using GW ink washes, and yeah, quite like them. Easy enough to use. Oh, there's a hole in there. Yeah, good. Lovely. Get some nice different tones, I think, in this, and that's what I was kind of going for there. Let's go here with a bit of black. Lovely. Cool, liking that. I think that's working. And then the green. So we're going to try really, really carefully here not to overdo the green this time, because it's so easy. The green's really just bright, so it does. And if you get a bit of water in there as well, it does run quite quick. So now this is coming out a little bit better, I think. Kind of more targeted than perhaps the last lot. Yeah, I think that's working. I might just tone down a few of these patches, but I think generally speaking we're all right, actually. Cool. Happy days. Oh, that's got a murky colour now. Yeah, yeah, right. Cool. Happy with that. Look at Bad Squiddo's new Kickstarter. Some lovely, proper sculpted resistance ladies in that. Ah, as in Second World War resistance. There you have. They do make some lovely stuff. I take it you talk about Bad Squiddo. Yeah, really nice figures. I really like the Land Army. The Land Army ones. They're really nice range. I don't tend to buy them because I don't really need them, and secondly, I don't know. I just don't know. I probably should just to get experience of what they're like. So could do a review or something. Right, let's drop those off. Right, let's do this front bit, and then that's all the rock work done except for the back, which I think I'm going to do in sort of a brownie color, and then flock over the top. This week's newsletter has 3 days from Norway and France. Great posters. Nice. Nice. I do like the Norway stuff. Right. Let's get some of the... let's try to get a little bit more water in that. See if that helps it flow a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, lovely. So actually this week, I know something I was going to mention this week. So I have been sourcing some replica Second World War medals for my reenactment group because this year we're going to do our first Christmas jolly bash party, whatever you want to call it, and my plan is to sort of hand out awards for those who have attended shows. So the plan is just like with the North Africa Star, if you'd spent a day in theatre, you got the North African medal, or the North Africa Star, I should say. And the plan is then, so if an individual member has attended at least one show with the group, then they're going to be awarded this North Africa Star replica, which I thought would be quite nice. It'll have their name on the back. It'll have the year, so 2025 this year, and subsequent years. Then we'll do a star or an award per year. It's for basically just encouraging people to actually attend shows, because it's generally how we put on good shows, is by having loads of people. So that's the plan. And for anybody who's done 5 or more shows this year, they will get a bar on it which will say North Africa 1942-43, which I think is how it comes. I think that's accurate to what it would have been on the award. But so I've had 3 arrive so far, 1 from one company, 2 from another. I'm going to compare them and see which I prefer. The cheaper one is sort of the one that I'm leaning to at the moment, because currently we've got 8 members, so at £10 a pop, that's £80, and that's if I go for the other one, so like £5.95, we're talking almost half the price. So that's the plan. That is the plan. We'll see how it goes. Right, I think that is a better set of green. Not too much there. I think that's much more subtle. Cool. Happy days. Now, I'm going to have to let that all dry before I dry brush it, as the gents have said. So, next question is what to move on. Do I do the ground cover and then do the actual Minas Tirith last? That's, I think, probably what I'm thinking. It's also, I can get a quick, lovely idea. Oh, thanks, Steve. Yeah. And he was at an event at Sutton Hoo last weekend. Oh, yeah. Pulp. Yeah, that makes sense, Johan, with Pulp. It's something I've seen and admired before, but it's not something I've ever, not anything I've bought. Yeah. Right, I think what I'm going to do is tackle the ground cover, get all the brown in, and then once that's all done, I'll then come back to Minas Tirith, and hopefully that rock work will have dried in that time. So let's just get always hate this. I paint it on the desk. I probably need to prop it up a bit more, but a little bit tricky to do. Right, let's just work on the inside bits to start with. Hoping that the paint doesn't reactivate the PVA and lift the sand. That's always a concern as well. Cool. I think we're doing all right here. Pulp is fun, low number game, focusing on the story, not the rules per se. Yeah, there's a lot of rules like that, and I think there's something about them, and it's not a bad way to go. Nice and careful near these walls, which means I'm probably going to paint the walls brown. Although, to be fair, I can just cover up the bits that I miss with some flock, so I'm not too worried. Lovely. And we should be able to cover this quite quickly. Yeah, I think this is really going to help with the contrast to the overall piece. So it'll just give that grey something to pop against. Certainly, I remember when I did Helm's Deep, there was a real sense when I got the ground cover down and the flock and all that, it really made it pop without needing to add a huge amount of colour. Cool. How's that looking? Just let you have a quick look at that. All right, let's see if we can get this this bit here just done. It's probably where I need a more detailed brush, so I might get a detailed brush on that in a minute. Oh, actually, that's worked all right. That might be enough. Cool. Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks for the thumbs up. Definitely a bit of battle damage on this wall over here. There's some of the lower wall just missing a bit. Yeah, you can almost get through it, almost see through it there. But never mind. I like to just paint the edge of the base at the same colour as the base colour itself there. So. I'm getting a bit of brown on the wall here, so we might have to do a bit of work there. But right, let's just get this up here. Yeah, lovely. That's just tying the rock work into the ground cover. Cool. Happy with that. Right. I think that is making the difference. When the paint is wet, just drag a wash over it in places. We'll blend it by itself. Yeah, nice. Yeah, agreed. Got to try and move this now without touching the paint, but I think we're all okay there. I think the bit that's going to take the longest is probably dry brushing the actual keep itself, but noting it's a dry brush, it might actually not be too bad. And the ground cover is just going on much quicker than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a bit of a fight, so I'm really glad that it's not. Cool. We're getting there. Didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so probably won't go really much beyond 9 o'clock. But I think again it's just making sure that I come up here and do a little bit of hobby every night. That has been the real, I think, success story of Minas Tirith. Is it, and doing the videos massively helps. I think when I got to a point where the videos weren't making a lot of progress. I was really actually worried that that was hurting the view count as much as anything. And so I sort of said to myself, look, we need to be making good progress really every video, otherwise people aren't going to watch because no progress made. So that then kind of forced me to go, right, okay, how do I make good progress? Well, I need to get up here every night and do at least half an hour to an hour. And that is essentially what I've done in order to get to the stage that we're in now. So yeah, pleased that it's going the way it's going. And obviously we'll look to try and get this finished really this weekend. I've got next week off work, but I'm supposed to be tidying the garage, and I've got childcare responsibilities and stuff like that. So how much I get done next week, don't know. 30 minutes a day. Yeah, don't rush things. Give it plenty of time to dry. Yeah, good thoughts, Steve. And I guess if I don't get it finished tonight, it's not the end of the world. And in fact, in many ways, I didn't expect to get it done tonight. Sometimes I do not estimate very well how quickly I'm going to get these things done. But yeah, we're getting there. If I can get the rock work kind of finished in terms of getting it set up ready for dry brushing, that'd be really good. And then obviously the ground cover, that then can get dry brush once that's dry. So that's good. And then kind of on from that, it'll be dry brushing the keep, which if I can get the technique working well, I think it should be quite a quick thing to do. And it's a fairly stable, solid piece. You know what? I've just had a look over to my laptop where I can see all the comments and the chat, but I can also see obviously the video feed, and just to see kind of Minas Tirith, it looks the part. I feel like the shape and proportions and all that I've managed to achieve is spot on for Minas Tirith. So yeah, I'm going to blow my own trumpet on that one, but I think it looks the part. I think I've achieved what I wanted to achieve, which is out of foam building this beast of a castle, a keep, whatever we want to call it, which, you know, obviously Tolkien created. And then Peter Jackson kind of decided to use plenty of CGI and take it to the next level, modelers as well. But I'm really, really chuffed with how well this has come out. And this was one of my goals for 2025. So to be at this stage where I'm not far off getting it finished, I am really, really pleased. For anybody who hasn't watched that kind of priorities video or aims for 2025, do check that video out. It is in my video list somewhere. But absolutely, I set myself, I think, 6 goals for this year, and I don't know how well I'm doing on those goals. I've definitely, you know, this is one. I know one of them I won't complete, which is to write the Contact from Falklands book this year, but unfortunately, it's just been a busy year. I don't know if any you know, next year's going to be any quieter, but which is a bit of a pain because I'd hoped to get it written so that Dougie and I could put on a game at Salute 26, but I'm not seeing that happening, to be quite honest. It's really odd when I sit down to write those supplements, rule books, my head just has to be in the right space. If not, I don't really make a lot of progress. I don't really sit down and make myself do it. So yeah, it looks really nice. It will look even better with the black flags all over it under new management. Excellent. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And yeah, Steve, you're right. Never say never. It could happen. I could turn it out, but I think the problem is that the amount of time that myself and my small little team that helped me to produce those PDFs, we really we take it's quite a long process to get them written, play tested, and then the formatting, the design, the layout, all of that, and then there's the pictures. Because my plan was to see if I could get up to Dougie's house and do a photo shoot with him over a couple of days, maybe a weekend, something like that. So there's definitely a lot that's going to go into it when we get there, but I just don't see it happening this year, unfortunately. And I feel bad because the contact front group itself is not really a live Facebook group like I'd want it to be. So that is a bit of a shame, a bit frustrating, really. But is what it is. Right. So it is essentially 10 to 9. Rock work, I think, is in a good place. Needs to dry, and then a dry brush. And I assume we're talking sort of a light grey over the top of that. Then we've got this bit at the back, which I think I need to get in with a detail brush and add a bit of brown there as a good base coat for then doing a little bit of flocking on top, very light on that part, and obviously dry brush all of the tombs and all that, and then these buildings. This bit up at the top actually needs to be brown. So while I'm thinking about it, let's jump in and do that, because that's a quick job that can be done in the last 9 minutes. Now that I've had my drink. Oh, that's a really small brush. Really, really small brush. Right, let's make this happen. Yeah, so some of this is definitely going to get filled in with flock and whatnot. So cool. So that's that bit. Cool. I think this little bit of detail and a little bit of colour on the top is going to be really nice, just to add a bit of a pop. Yeah, and there's definitely some damage up the top here. Clearly, it's all those trolls lobbing things, and yeah, it's made a mess of the grass. The gardener is not going to be happy. That's all right. Keeps him employed. So we get this bit done up here, and it's really frustrating when I can't get in there with the paintbrush enough to make it brown because it's just showing up. Anyway, let's see how we're doing. Oh, Steve, apologies. I meant to message you last week after the live stream and I didn't. So I will try and get that done tonight. Send you a message about there's a thought that I've had. I want to get your thoughts on. So yeah, if I can remember after this, I will send you a message and we can start chatting. All being well. Yeah, there's some definite bomb craters on the top of this. which is quite funny. And the wall's getting turned a bit brown there. Okay, this is coming on all right, actually. Cool. Might actually need to stand up for this last bit because I can't get to the bit without. How are we doing? Right, a few minutes. We've got 7 people watching. That's brilliant. Thank you ever so much. Really, really appreciate all the support tonight. I sort of sold it as the last one for Minas Tirith. I think that's hopefully going to be the case. I am relying quite a bit on the structure of this to make it look like Minas Tirith rather than the paint job. But I'll be honest about that. That is pretty much by design. Some damage over here. Yeah, lovely. Cool. Happy with that. Again, it's just trying to get an impression. There's a bit more down there I need to do, but I think I might just do that in a minute off camera. To be quite honest, I'm absolutely exhausted. Right, let's just have a little recap. So, obviously, I've done the base. I've done the rock work, which actually this looks really green on camera. I don't think it is actually that green. I don't think so. Done the bit of green that's on here. I need to, sorry, a little bit of brown here. I need to do a bit here over the bridge, and then this bit on top, which might be off camera now, but basically this bit where the hollows are. And then after that, I think it's get a massive dry brush and just dry brush the whole thing. And then once it's dry brushed, add a little bit of flock here and there, and then I'm going to call that good. And we'll see how it comes out. Yeah, crazy that we've got this far. Right, so to wrap things up, live stream. Am I going to do on next week? Yeah, why not? I'm on leave anyway, so it'll be nice and chilled out. Hopefully, and this is a big hope, this will be done by Sunday. And if it's done by Sunday night, then what I will be doing is I will probably bring some figures and just do some painting next next Wednesday. So come and join the live stream for a bit of paint and chat next week. And I will, as I say, Steve, I will message you, and I've got an idea. We'll chat that through, and maybe next week's live stream might be slightly different. For the finale, I'm going to be bold and I'm going to predict it's going to be the finale on Sunday. Check out my video. It will be out Sunday night at 6 p.m. UK time. So I think that's 7 for Johan in the Netherlands. And hopefully I shall have a fantastic video which will have the finished Minas Tirith. But until then, thank you ever so much for your support. Really, really appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you in the next video or live stream. Take care. We'll see you then.